determining the goal clearly and then actually coming up with what are the benefits to your values, to what gives you a sense of purpose of how achieving this goal is going to support that. So, exactly what you've just said, just case in point, that you have this health and fitness goal, let's say, and, outside of just a whole look better or have more confidence, how does it support your family? How does it support your kids? Does it actually benefit them seeing a father who has discipline, who prioritizes his health and fitness? Does it benefit if you have financial as a value for you? Does it benefit your finances that if you look after yourself, you may have less sick days and thus you can have a higher income, things like this. So looking at, I would challenge the viewers to actually really challenge themselves to list out 20 benefits to them and to what's most important to them in their life of achieving the goal. Okay. So that's one. Now, the flip side of that, which may sound counterintuitive, but hear me out, Greg, hear me out, is looking at what are the drawbacks of achieving this goal. Okay.
Drawbacks of achieving the
Drawbacks
goal.
of achieving it. Absolutely.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
stay with me. So the reason this one's important is we spoke about this in the former episode, which was, setting the goals not from the seeking of pleasure and avoiding of the pain, but from the purpose and the values driven orientation. Now, as we've said previously, if you're taking action on a goal that is truly aligned with your values, you have the adaptability and resilience, you embrace the pain, you embrace the challenges in pursuit of the mission. So any goal is going to come with challenges and it's going to have a cost associated with it. So you can go into that goal naive and say, it's going to be so great when I've got this health
Only
and
good.
fitness. It's only good. That fantasy idea again. Well, we can say that it's going to support your values and your vision and grow your self-worth. No problem. Great. But we need to also look at what are the challenges, the obstacles, what's the cost of doing it, right? So, I work with a couple of professional athletes and people might look to them and they'll say, oh, this is so amazing what they do. They travel the world, etc. Well, drawbacks to them. They miss their children's birthday. There's a lot of pressure on them to perform. They go into a restaurant and they have to talk to everyone and put on the mask of who others expect them to be. And so those are real factual drawbacks or challenges that come with this meaningful goal. And so I always say to clients, we can go into it objective and self-governed and know that there is benefits to our values and purpose of achieving this goal, but we also need to know what's required because, time is a limiting factor and things go wrong. And you'll know this, whether it's in business or raising kids is kind of maybe an obvious example that people know. You don't necessarily have kids to be happy. You have kids or raise a family to be more fulfilled and have that purpose and vision, right? And so I would suggest approaching the goals the same way. So 25 benefits of how it supports your values, but also getting real with yourself, 20 to 25 drawbacks of what is the cost of implementing this habit. And then you go into that being objective and being real and avoiding the emotional roller coaster because you've been thinking long term of how the goal supports the vision, not the avoidance of pain or the seeking of pleasure.